Hello, ladies, gents, and nine non-binary friends. Welcome to Beancast.
Yeah,
This is the
woo!
third episode that it took for me to get
Did we
on.
do two? We
This
did the
is-
one about food.
This is the first
The,
episode.
Yeah, that
the
was just
first episode.
that was a non-canon. This is the first
It was
canon.
just filler arc. That was like the
The others
prequel.
will be released as exclusive content on our Patreon.
Our non-existent Patreon.
Will be.
Go there and give us money. We'll make it later. For now, just give us your credit card numbers. DM it to us. Please, John Wick needs your help.
John Wick, he needs the 12 digits on the
He's
front.
trapped in the tilted towers. He's so tilted about the
Oh.
towers.
Teddy needs your help. He's really thirsty.
Oh my god, he's chugging water right now.
So, Birch,
Yes,
you watch Chuckle Sandwich.
of course I do.
Do they ask guests the question of what do you want to talk about? Or am I thinking of Rant Cafe?
Yeah,
I
I don't think they do on
I think-
on Chuckle.
Yeah, I think on Chuckle they have preset questions that they intend to ask.
Yeah, because they plan stuff and have guests.
Well, most of them
Oh,
don't
am
make
Am I
sense.
technically a
They come
guest?
out by accident.
Like
Yes.
the
Listen,
latest one.
listen.
This is where you would ask me what I want to talk about.
Listen, I think it's bad. I think it's a bad start to talk about other podcasts on your first episode of your own podcast.
What?
I think we're heading down a bad road.
Really?
What?
I think we
Really?
need.
Well,
we need to get
anyone
back on
listening
track
to this,
here.
don't check out those. Just listen to this. Put it on loop.
Yeah.
This is the only human interaction you need for at least a year.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. This is the only one that there is, so I don't know.
Yeah, this is it.
I don't
Spotify,
know
what's
what
that?
to mean.
God damn it,
I only use bongos.
dude.
Bing bong
Bing
bongo.
bong, bing bongin.
So, I think my first question for you, because I actually don't know this, but what spring 2022 anime have you watched? I know you watched Spy X Family.
Yeah, I
and
need
know
to
you
watch.
watched. I know Pebs watched Aharen-san. Well,
Yeah.
Hakumenai. However you say that. Oh, no, how I said it.
Family with me.
I saw like
No,
bits of episodes.
I don't think he did.
But no, I didn't.
Birch, come
Kurt's
on.
mostly- I don't think he's actually seen any of the spring anime now. That I think. Did you watch My Dress Up Darling with me? No. And he hasn't.
Birch, you're slacking.
I know, dude.
You gotta watch them.
Today's Thursday, right?
Yeah, today's Thursday.
Not for long. Not
um,
for long.
I watched. I can't Aharon. I can't roll R's. And I watched My Dress Up Darling. I watched Spy X Family. I watched.
Oh, there's more.
I watched. Did I watch another one?
I don't know. I recommended you a good few. Let me look. Did you
say.
watch
You can check my anime.
Imori-san?
I don't think so.
Damn.
Is
Well,
it good?
I like it. It's kind of like, how do I describe it? It's like if you took a waifu, made her cute, and then also cool is like the main premise of the show. Not really. What's the English translate? It's Shikimori-san is not just a cutie. And so I saw the trailer like months before it came out, and there's like a scene where she like brushes her hair back and is just looking at the main character like really coolly.
Yeah.
And when I saw the scene, I was like, I'm watching this. I don't really know what's happening, but I'm watching this.
Oh yeah.
So then you get into it, and the plot just expands more than just the one character everyone focuses on. It's really crazy.
Yo, maybe I'll watch that then. I really like watching the new anime because it's so easy to just
It's so nice watching weekly because,
yeah,
like, if you look at a series, you're like, okay, 24 episodes. That's 24 episodes I have to watch. When you watch a weekly, you're really just saying, here's one episode that I just have to watch.
exactly.
You don't think about like a big picture of I have to watch all of these. You just think I just have to spend 24 minutes and just watch this.
Yeah, and it kind of makes it more exciting because then you don't
Yeah, you have the
happen
weekly
next 'cause it's
build
not
up, like
out.
builds up the hype.
Right, exactly. And nobody knows what's gonna happen next, so there's not really spoilers or anything.
Yeah, there was actually a study I heard about when I was watching a film theory video about why Netflix is failing. I don't know if you watched it as well, but it showed that people who watch shows weekly or with time in between tend to have more of an enjoyment than people who binge it because when you spend that week or more waiting for the next episode to come out, you build up, I think it's like dopamine chemicals because you have that anticipation and you get to talk to others about like, oh, what do you think's gonna happen?
Right.
You can
And
date.
so there's a general study overall that binge watchers tend to have less of an enjoyment and remember less about the show.
Yeah,
Huh.
that makes sense.
Well, that's interesting.
Then I don't think I think the one thing it differs is between shows and I don't know. I think it depends because I know you know how I've been reading like One Piece and all that recently.
Yeah.
And I've been listening to it's definitely not a podcast, totally not that. There's no other podcast, but
No, not another.
this hypothetical scenario that there was a podcast called The One Piece Version where they talk about arcs. Doesn't exist, but if it did, they discussed that when they were reading the chapters for that arc weekly, they had much less of an enjoyment than when they binged it overall, which kind of makes sense because when you're doing it weekly, you just have like 10 chapters of fight scenes that take place over a month.
Right.
Whereas when you're binging, you're able to just read them all, get all that fight packed into one moment.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's interesting
So
though, that it's
I think
different.
the difference in enjoying a series weekly and then enjoying it more binging is how long of a moment you're watching. It's the pacing.
Right. That makes
Because
sense.
when you think of most shows that do like weekly and are really big, they pack a wide variety of moments into a single episode and then
Right.
still have that cliffhanger to leave you wanting more.
Right. Yeah.
Because that's where like say you guys haven't seen Moon Knight, right?
No.
No,
Have you watched any of the Disney Plus Marvel shows?
we don't have a.
I watched WandaVision.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, for that example, that was like 16, 12 something episodes, something
Yeah.
in double digits. But what they do is they like if you look at it overall, each episode is like an hour's worth.
Right.
So overall, you're getting multiple times more technically content than what would be in a movie.
Right.
Because you're thinking overall that's like 12 hours. The movie's 3 at most.
Yeah.
And so while you're getting more, it's almost like the same experience as the movie because they just spread it out more.
Yeah.
And so with like WandaVision, they pack like just the right amount of information in that one episode and then something with a cliffhanger. Whereas, say, if you're watching like Naruto, maybe, for example, because you guys like Naruto, you have like one episode and the entire thing is just here's a little snippet of this fight with this one guy.
Yeah, that
So you
makes
kind of
sense.
just have you don't really have that buildup because you're still just going, oh, I wonder who's gonna win, but you're doing that for like 50 episodes.
Right.
So I think that's kind of where they differ is it's about what happens in the chapter or episode and it's like how do they spread out events?
That makes sense.
Because then you can also technically have the alternate issue of you put too much information in one episode and everyone's like, what just happened?
Yeah.
Right. Exactly, yeah.
Kind of like trying to make a TV show into a movie.
Yeah.
I think a good example is Moonfall. Have you guys seen that?
No.
Good. Don't watch it. It's horrible. I hated it. It was 2.5 hours. I'd never get back. But like
Yeah.
it had a good concept, but my God, the stuff they had in it, it was like a fever dream. Like
Yeah.
they tried to put so much stuff in it and didn't give it the proper spacing, and they didn't elaborate enough on certain parts. And so
Right.
I think they just tried to compact too much information in 2.5 hours. Because like,
Yeah.
oh, this kid just got out of prison. Oh, look, he's driving away from a meteor coming down. Whoa, that's so crazy. There's 15 minutes apart. Whoa, look, he's having an emotional connection from a character he met 4 minutes ago.
Nice, nice.
So that's like the whole movie. It just does not make sense. It
Oh
just
no.
starts with
Probably would have been better to be a TV show or something. It's more
Yeah.
spread out.
it really had enough information to where if they planned it out correctly, elaborated where they need to, it probably could have been a trilogy. It was so crazy.
It's like
I swear they had enough stuff for 3 movies at least.
I think a lot of video game movies and end up falling victim to that. where
Video
they try
game
and
movies suck half the time.
show too much information into the movie.
Yeah. That like if you didn't already have prior knowledge, you wouldn't know what the hell was going on.
It's also that when you're playing a video game, you're having a different experience than when you're watching a movie.
Right.
A movie, it's like a story playing for you. When it's with a video game, you're kind of almost making that story.
Exactly, yeah.
It's like we're in a D&D chat right now, so it makes sense for
Yeah.
anyone listening. We're using a D&D server because we have a bot for recording audio. But when you think of like D&D, you have the DM, they planned out this entire story and it will go a specific way because that's how the story has been made for you to go. But whatever the players do, that will change the story, but not in a major enough way to where the end will be different.
Right.
So when you play a game, it's almost like that. Like you can play it in a variety of ways. Like I killed enemies this way, I killed enemies that way. You're kind of making your story, but the story's still there to where
Right.
you're doing what was planned, but not in a way that seems like it. With a movie, everything's planned and you're just the observer.
Yeah.
So they're kind of two different experiences. And when you try and take one and adapt into another, it doesn't always go so well because you can watch and be like, well, if I was doing in the games, this isn't how this would be done because you're making the story go the way you think it would go.
Yeah. I think maybe
I feel like I'm doing a TED talk.
popping off.
He's going there. Oh, it's all interesting stuff that like oh, you go ahead.
If they kind of do what they did in Arcane, where
See, that's the thing I kind of like.
And I was just canon to the like universe or not, like whether or not they make up a story for the show or movie or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
If they just really focus in on what they want to tell their story about and that way instead of trying to encompass everything that is in their media piece.
Yeah.
That makes a better story.
And I'm personally really glad that Arcane is as big as it is because when I was watching it like drop for like League of Legends or Riots, they had some event for it, but they were like getting interviewed and stuff, and they were like, "Guys, we are so nervous for this because it's a video game show, and so many people hate video game shows."
Yeah.
And they were like so nervous that they were gonna get like so much like trash for it.
I think
But
it's just because
then
like
it ended up being a big sensation. Yeah.
right. Well, because like the story of it, like it didn't feel like one of the movies where it's like about a video game and you can very obviously tell that it's meant to be like a video game type thing,
Yeah.
But in Arcane, it's like an actual like animated series that has like a fully fleshed out story,
And see, that's why I really think Arcane, like what they did with Arcane, is what I feel like so many other people should do when making a video game movie. Because they didn't just try and tell the story that's made from a game. And they can't really do that because League of Legends isn't exactly like a story game. It's just a team fighting. I don't know how you describe it, but
Yeah.
there's not really necessarily a story. So
Right.
what they did is they just took the concepts and the things already in the game and made their own story with it, essentially.
Right.
And of course, I think they, from what I understand, I don't really know much about League of Legends, but I think they took an underlying story because apparently there's, I guess, dialogue between the different characters in the game. And if you look at the like dialogue between them, it kind of makes sense with the story told in Arcane. Like I don't know if
Yeah.
this would be spoilers, but like Jinx like kind of messes up like some people and like really hurts them and stuff. And so like there was apparently dialogue between like Jinx and other characters, and these other characters are like, "I hate you, Jinx. It's all your fault," and stuff like that. And I thought that was cool that there was that underlying story, but it wasn't really told per se.
Right. It is.
They leave it connected but open enough to draw your own conclusions.
I love Arcane so much. I can't wait for the next season.
I think the other thing that really made it like explode in popularity is that they usually have like a really unique and cool like animation style because it's almost like that
Yeah.
drawn feeling, but it has just enough 3D to make it
Yeah.
feel, like really cool and environmental and stuff.
It's.
And they also took like two concepts everyone loves, and it's futuristic and steampunk. Like
Mhm.
everyone loves.
Mhm. It's such a good combo, and like, there's so much like dynamic stuff you can do with that in animation. So it's just like all
Mhm.
so cool to look at.
And then they also had some like banger music, dude. Like
Oh my god.
some of those songs are so good.
I
Like every time like an episode dropped, I'd find one of their songs and that was just on my playlist for so long. And I'd just be listening to it like on repeat almost.
yeah. God, I didn't
And
think
there's like
I was
so much
gonna like
variation.
the intro song.
Mhm.
It,
Oh, enemy.
yeah, yeah,
See, I think the funny thing about that is Enemy like dropped like way before the series came out. Like it was like months before it
yeah,
because it was almost like a promotional thing. And so everyone was like jamming out to Enemy even before the series came out. They were like, "Holy crap, this song is so good! Like the series must be great if this is their intro." And then
right.
they play it, and it's only like the main part that plays, but it still just was so good. I was like just listening to the intro instead of pressing skip. And that's pretty rare for me. It has to be pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
same.
Hmm
Did you watch Arcane with me,
But
Jacob?
most of it.
okay, I was gonna say if you didn't, that's what we're doing at some point.
Yeah.
Literally. It's oh my god. The ending, I don't want to spoil anything, but
I did
like
see the ending.
it
But yeah.
was juicy.
Yeah, and another thing I really liked about the music personally is that there's so much differentiation between some of the different songs
Right?
because you have the one song I forget what it's called, but it plays on like a oh shit, what are they called? They like play vinyls and stuff. Turntable, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but they had the one that like played in there. And it
Right.
was like a really like I don't know how to describe it, not like jazzy, but just kind of it sounded older and just
Yeah.
had a really good feeling to it.
Yeah.
And so you have that, and then you have the song that plays when you're looking at that like steampunk area post time skip. And it's just like really like nightclub feeling. It's like there's such a contrast between them.
It's so
And yet they
good.
both just sound so good in their own right.
Dude, that's like this is like the exact vibe that I want to get from the Neon District in the Minecraft
Oh, dude.
server.
That seems yeah, like I kind of hate that we're almost recording this, so I can't. You almost have to explain it.
I
But
know, I know.
on our Minecraft server, we're making. I have this like city project we're working on, and this has four districts, and one of them we've called it the Neon District because we want to make it kind of like Neo Tokyo esque.
Yeah.
Um, but I almost feel like that'd be better for like Steam Fortress because it's like the steampunk vibe. But yeah,
Yeah, that's like
I don't know. I feel like they both kind of work.
that's kind of the vibe that one of the other server members, Real, was. He started decorating the farms that we have there, and it's kind of that vibe, that like steampunky, but it's like still kind of neon
Yeah.
vibe, and it's like grungy and dirty, and it's
Yeah, that's where I feel like there's almost two different kinds of steampunk.
yeah,
Because a lot of
sure.
times you see that very like copper, like gears and cogs, like actual steam, and
Right.
that kind of steampunk. And then you have what Arcane uses, which is almost that like futuristic steampunk,
Yeah, like
where you still have like that cog and gear theme, but you have like very neon colors and very energy-esque things.
Yeah.
I feel like there's almost like steampunk, and then there's almost like a neo steampunk.
Yes. They're both so good. Like,
Yeah.
I really like the main fortress that we have built in Minecraft, where it's like kind of more the traditional steampunk stuff.
Yeah.
Then like some of the other buildings that we have around are starting to become more like that neo. Like
Hmm.
and it's it's like one of my
I feel
favorite
like
block
they
templates
almost
in general
have
in Minecraft.
their own style you can use it in.
But yeah,
Because when you think like classical steampunk, you think kind of like bright lights as well.
right.
So it's almost kind of like a, for lack of better term that I can think of, like a yin yang, whereas like you have
Right.
one like really bright feeling, like you picture like the brass glistening in the sun, but
Mm-hmm.
then you have almost the yang. I think that's how they orientate. I don't know.
Yeah.
But you have that like neo steampunk where it's like the bright neon colors that like illuminate the darkness, so you almost have a very night feeling.
Yeah. God.
I
Oh
think
my
I think that's why
goodness.
it's both so good because they're almost like two sides of the same coin,
Mm-hmm.
yet both kind of similar but different.
This is like 100% gonna be like the top 10 things I've ever done in life. Like building stuff like this in
Interesting.
Minecraft servers, and just
Okay.
like just Minecraft in general with people is just so good. It's so fun.
Yeah.
And it's like
That's where I think like we've had like past servers. There was OH season 1, there was Emerald,
right.
and we all kind of burned like they all burned out, and
Right.
so like they're kind of a bit dead now. Emerald I don't know the status. I have the whole server muted, but things I've had it muted for so long, dude. Um, I I think the reason that is that no one really did a whole community thing per se.
Right.
Like
Everybody off
we
on
all
their
tried
own.
to have it.
Yeah.
Like we had like for OH we were trying to do like groups and factions and all that.
Right.
But I think the way it differs from what we have now is like when we're building Darkstone City, we're all building it like together.
Right.
Whereas in OH season 1, we were together, but we weren't building together. We all did separate things just in the same area.
Exactly, yeah. That's kind of how
So
it
I
was
think
even in like
when you have
Emerald. Like, you know how like
I remember no one did a group thing.
no, they did cereal.
Oh yeah, and that's almost the same thing. Like Serial really took off. Like
Yeah.
I didn't really see much of it, but I remember every time I visited, it was like pretty big and good, like looked good, had a pretty big scale.
Yeah.
And even for like the like Tadpire when it was like really brief. We still that was like some of the most community building we had in Level.
Yeah, but even then it was still like that same kind of
It was still that separate, and that's
Yeah.
why it didn't reach. I don't think it reached the scale of Serial.
Yeah, I agree. And it's kind of, people here got a lot more personal than they did, I feel like,
Mhm.
on Emerald, because
That's kind of the thing I think as well is to describe like the Discord servers for both. Emerald's very kind of Minecraft focused, whereas which of course we had like the space where none of us really were playing Minecraft.
Right.
So it developed more into the non-Minecraft chats, like the anime chat off topic.
Right.
We had the music chat, which was kind of big for a while.
Right.
And so we all kind of developed a non-Minecraft based connection and association with the server.
Exactly.
And so when we have the Minecraft server, we're all playing on it, but there's more of like a connection
Yeah.
to where it's easier to build together. And it's just much more active because we have stuff other than the server to talk about. And so when the server kind of dies in interest, there's still activity on the server because there's other stuff we can talk about.
Right.
Yeah.
Like the Minecraft, it may be a Minecraft server, but Minecraft and the server aren't necessarily linked.
Right. That's just, man, I love that server. So good.
Yeah.
Everyone on.
And we didn't even have a proper logo until I became in charge.
Oh my god, I know.
It was so funny. I like became in charge and I was like, okay, I need to really reinvent the server because
Yeah.
we have so many things. Because we did that reboot and I had to go through so many. Oh my god, I hated
Oh
that.
my god. I I remember for a while, like nobody touched it and it was just kind of like quiet. And then
Yeah,
you were like, can somebody please help me?
yeah, dude. I was sitting there. I was like, okay, I lost the password to the Eternals account. So, but the funny thing I realized, other people could start up the server. I don't know if I think it was because the software was outdated.
Yeah.
I gave you guys mod permissions. I feel like we could have still used the server
Yeah.
if other people started it up.
Oh yeah.
It was so funny. I'm so glad I found it eventually. It was only because Eternos emailed me that they were about to delete our server
Oh my
files.
god.
Like they messaged me and they were like, "Hey," and then they gave me my account name, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's my account name. That's what I was missing."
Yes, I could do it.
Yeah, and so I was able to. It was such a lucky circumstance
Yeah.
because for the account I used my burner email, which is
Oh.
really like lucky
Yeah.
because I've had so many accounts in the past where I just make an email because I need another Eternos account.
Yeah.
So I was really lucky I was able to forgot my password. I was able to give them my username because they sent it to me. And I was able to give them my email address. And so I was able to get the
Yes.
password back and reset it. And now I have it saved in mod chat, or not mod chat, the Hokage chat, so I never forget
There
it.
you go.
But it was when that server I lost the password, it was essentially dead because no one could play on it since it was outdated.
Yeah.
But I forget why, but there's something that made me like really want to play Minecraft again.
Yeah.
And I just kind of looked at it and I was like, what if I just rebooted it? What if I just said screw it to the old server? Because no one's really playing on it. I remember even when I got Eternos made for it, no one really
Yeah,
played it.
nobody really did.
So I was like, what if we just started fresh?
Yeah.
So that's kind of when it started kicking back again. So then we redid all the server stuff,
Yeah.
and that was a nightmare. And then I looked at our thing, and I was like, why is our server logo just some like wolf howling at a moon?
I remember that. It was literally it's because
It was so nutty,
the
dude.
original
Our server logo kept changing to random
I
shit. It
know
was so
because the original person who made it couldn't ever figure out what they what they wanted, so they would just randomly
weird.
change
That was Sai. I like ran the server stuff, but he didn't know how to use Discord. Like,
He's such a goober,
dude, for the
dude.
longest time,
God.
I thought like Gris was like some super genius in Discord and like
Yeah.
knew so much about
Oh,
it.
yeah, me
And then
too.
when I became in charge and started asking about stuff, I learned he knew just as much about Discord as I did.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, he could have found any of us, and we could have done pretty much the exact same thing as Chris.
I don't understand.
It was so insane.
Like, okay, I understand why he didn't ask me to take over the server, but like, I did all of the stuff on Emerald, and nobody was like, "Hey, Pebs, do you know how to do this?" But you guys figured it out eventually, anyways. So
Yeah. I'd like to think I'm pretty familiar with Discord now. I think what really helped is I've had to make so many Discord servers,
oh
like just from
yeah,
scratch. Like we have what's now the game server that was originally the OHC interaction server.
yeah,
But I had to make that, and that was really like a way for me to test out. Like I essentially had to figure out what all these people did to make their servers, and I just had to figure it out on my own.
yeah. I remember that, testing all the different bots and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun though.
And so I became like really familiar with like how to set up bots, how to limit things to specific
Yeah.
channels. That's kind of the thing I hate about so many servers I join for like big communities is I'll join and I'll look at their member list and all of the bots are in every single channel.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, you could like not use punctuation and a letter without probably activating a bot. Like, what are you doing?
Exactly.
And that's what I really cracked down upon when I did the game servers. I was like, I can't have all of these bots in every single channel. So I had to like make their own tags. I had to censor them to just be active in a specific
I
channel.
need to breathe.
And I feel like it so
Need to
much.
be not so many bots in here.
This room is full. I gotta put on my mask. This isn't COVID safe.
Dude, there's no social distancing when it came to these bots,
Literally.
dude. It was like walking in a Best Buy.
Yeah, exactly.
You go to the RPG
It's like
room.
walking into a Chili's on a Friday night.
Dude, Chili's is so good.
I cannot remember the last time I had Chili's.
I've never had Chili's.
It's been so long.
Applebee's is our Chili's.
The Chili's where I am is so far away. We're getting a new one though. We're getting another one like really close.
Yo.
I don't even know where the closest Chili's is to around here.
Fairlawn.
Do you
One
think
in
so?
Fairlawn, yeah.
Dude, do you guys have a Panda Express?
Maybe in Akron.
Yeah, I yeah, there's at least one at the school.
Dude, we got a new Panda Express.
Is it good?
Or the only one I've ever seen. It's so good, dude.
God, I love Chinese food.
We just have like local places.
We went there for like a meetup, and dude, since there's nothing like in like new, like there was no Panda Express that I've ever seen in like the entire state, and so it was like really big when we heard that they were getting one there.
Yeah.
Dude, you can tell there's like not much fun to do in the immediate vicinity because the line was outside the door and the drive-through was so long.
Oh my god.
Everybody was getting Panda Express. They were like, "Oh my god, dude, this is something new in the area. That's so crazy."
Dude, everyone's losing. That's like when they opened up the Chick-fil-A. They opened up a Chick-fil-A not far from here recently, and oh my god. I don't think there's ever been a line that long that I've ever seen.
Yeah. Like we were waiting outside and thankfully the rain stopped because there was so heavy downpour. Like it was just a few minutes before. Dude, I swear the rain was bipolar. I was driving there and I've never had to change my wiper settings so much. It was crazy. But we got there and I got in line and I got my food. It was delicious. It was some of the best like Chinese American food I've ever had. Or American Chinese food, I guess is the good way, right?
We can order a bunch of different chickens, Jacob.
Oh man.
Oh my dude, why do you get so much chicken when you order Chinese
Because
food?
the
It is
best thing they have.
Chicken, the best
No.
meat.
Dude, you get the combo. You get every single thing in it.
Nah.
Like if I'm getting like lo mein, I'm not getting chicken lo mein. I'm getting the combo, whichever they call it. Some people call it combo lo mein. Some people call it like house lo mein or something. I just get that. Then you get your shrimp, you get your beef, you get your chicken, and you get your pork, and then you have everything else that's in lo mein. It's great. You get all of it in one.
He's a meaty man. What I'm hearing.
I'm it's diversity. I'm being inclusive. I'm not prejudiced against the different meats
it's just
that they
just a
offer.
preference.
He's a meat includer.
He's a meat includer.
I heard like 5 different meats. They're being included.
I vouch for meat equality. Except for chicken.
meat president.
We're not.
Dude, someone talked to me the other day, and they're standing on the basis that chicken is the cardboard of meat.
What does that even mean?
Chicken by itself has no flavor, and the only flavor it has is what you add to chicken.
You can say that for any food.
That's also not true.
If you cook some beef, that beef has flavor.
No, it do not.
Tofu is the cardboard of meat.
Yeah, tofu is the cardboard.
Technically,
even tofu probably has flavor. I don't know tofu. Tofu's not a meat. Yeah, that's a good point. It's just plant.
But that's That's like how tofu is usually tastes like how you prepare it or what you prepare it with.
And a lot of things taste like how, or have a taste more like how you
Yeah,
prepare
that's
it.
what the
But
seasoning's
if you
for.
just like cook chicken, I feel like chicken is more flavorless than other meats.
Well,
I guess that's
yeah,
true.
it's not like okay. I understand what you mean. Like it's like a steak. Like if you had a steak and you just cooked the steak and you just cooked a piece of chicken.
Yeah, if you just cook steak, it's not good, but it still has flavor. If you just cook chicken, there's not really flavor.
Yeah. But once you add
Dude, I gave someone
flavor
such
to
a hard
chicken,
time
dude.
when they had
Oh
COVID.
my god.
Dude, when they had COVID and they lost their taste, they were like, "What do you want to order?" And I was like, "What food do you think has the best texture for you? What
Dude,
texture
no,
do you
I
want?"
was thinking about this earlier when we were at the store. What is your favorite food texture?
Dude, I remember hearing this question when someone asked it to Wilbur Stuck because apparently he can't taste anything.
What?
He like talked about it one time. He was saying like he can't taste anything.
Huh?
And that's why he said beans are his favorite food because they have a good texture.
What? There's no way. How is that even
I don't
possible?
he said it so many times. Like think about it. Like taste is more a connection of receptors between your taste buds and your brain. If something happens to that connection through a variety of means, and all of a sudden you just can't taste.
Bro, did somebody punch him in his fucking taste receptors? With like somebody stab his
It was a
tongue?
targeted assault.
Yeah.
He just ate some really hot food when he was younger. He just burned off all his taste
Literally,
buds.
like how does that even happen?
This makes me think of there was this like meme image I saw a while ago, but it was a thing and it said, "Please do not touch. Caution is hot," and then underneath it had it in Braille.
Oh,
Oh
man.
no. Oh
man.
no.
Like, do they think Braille people just have like really thick calluses where they can just
Wait,
feel
Braille
anything?
people.
Wait, Braille people. Wait. You said Braille people.
Oh my god, dude.
The people of Braille.
You know what's messed up? In Pokemon, in the
What?
Pokemon Gen 3 games, Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, they had Braille puzzles that had to do with like the Reggie trio. So you had to read them. They were in Braille and you had to translate them in order to figure out how to do the
What?
puzzle. But like you can't read Braille unless you have working eyeballs. You can't like feel your screen to do the puzzles.
Oh my
You can
god.
only do
No.
them if you read
Then why
Braille.
That's
have
cursed.
Braille? Like, they expect the players to just look up like
Yeah,
Braille
what
to English, or
8-year-old
what?
is going to know how to translate Braille? Spoiler, that was me.
You think an 8-year-old gonna have
You
that much
learned
Google
Braille
access at
to
the
be
time?
able to do
I didn't
this?
learn Braille, but I learned how to translate it.
How do you translate Braille?
You have to look it up. You have to like find the translation and like
Yeah,
Google
obviously,
if you
Tabs, you
read
just
it.
Oh my
Google it.
god, I mean, I'm sorry.
You-
God.
you idiot.
How, bro, I guess I'll just die. Oh, sheesh.
Yeah.
Dude, you know how like some people when you ask them a question, like they'll respond with like, "Dude, you have the internet at your fingertips. You have limitless knowledge in the palm of your hand. Just look it up." I don't know why, but sometimes that upsets
That
me.
upsets me too.
It's true. It's true, but it's like,
I like your
but you can
human
probably just
experience.
tell me as
Listen, yeah,
well.
I'm trying to get out. I'm trying to get off of my phone for once and talk to a real human. Which
It's like, yeah, I'm gonna Google like, what are black holes made of? But if I'm trying to figure out like, what does this screwdriver do? I'm not just. I feel like if you can tell me, then just tell me.
Yeah. Especially if it's like something that's like relevant to like just
Yeah.
like in context.
I I feel like it's only a reply to a really simple
Yeah.
question.
It's just people being shitty.
It's always something simple that's like how long is it going to take you to answer this question? And how long is it going to take me to Google this?
Oh, God.
Okay, you didn't do it. Wait,
Oh, did
Good.
I? Am I good?
we're good. We almost refreshed again.
Oh my,
Messed it
dude,
up
what
again.
are you doing to mess up
I
your
moved
mic?
my
Dude,
feet.
move the mic, the laptop.
Oh my, just don't.
Stop it!
Oh
Don't.
my God.
But like,
Oh my God, I forgot we have donuts.
I feel like I would always, if I know a friend has knowledge about something, I would rather just ask them about it than look it up because I
Yeah.
want an excuse to generate interaction, and it's easier.
We have to stimulate social interaction in a
They
digital
can
age.
tell it to me in a way that makes more sense than if I were to just read
Thing to
it.
say.
Mhm.
Yeah.
This donut is really good. My favorite
What kind of donut is
It's a devil food chocolate glazed donut.
a double what?
Food?
Devil food, chocolate glaze donut.
Double
Devil food,
food?
like chocolate. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's honestly probably like my favorite.
I'm not a big chocolate fan personally.
Really, what kind of donut do you like?
I'm a big fan of Boston cream.
Oh,
Mm.
interesting.
Like, did you know they had Boston cream Pop Tarts?
No. I bet you they were good.
They did. They were actually like pretty good. I made a very big mistake the second time I ate
Uh-oh.
them. So sometimes, do you ever just not want to use a toaster?
Mm-hmm.
Like, sure, I can, but then I have to get it out, I have to plug it in, I have to do
Mm-hmm.
all that. So there are times where I'm like making something that like you can heat up and all that. I just don't want to get out the toaster, so I'll just microwave it. So I've done that with Pop Tarts before. I've microwaved like strawberry Pop Tarts. It was fine. It's kind of like just toasting it, but heat it
I
up in a
prefer it
different
in the
way. Kind of
microwave,
I've
personally.
hold
yeah.
on. I have never microwaved a Pop Tart.
Ever?
Never.
Why?
I
You just have a higher willpower than me, Birch. I guess
I
that's
barely
just
even
what it
toast
is.
them. I just eat them out of the package.
Yeah,
Savage.
Yeah, I don't.
you're a
I don't.
fucking
I
goblin
rarely.
when it comes to
I'm not a
food.
big. I'm not a big hot Pop Tart guy. I'd rather just eat them out of the case. But occasionally, there's the days where I'm like, I just kind of want a hot
Now
Pop
I kind
Tart.
of want
I
to try
could-
a microwave.
I could give this man a slice of pizza that is 10 hours old and he would still eat it.
Listen,
What's wrong with 10-hour-old pizza?
Oh my god. It's just a little bit of fly on there. You just wipe it off.
Oh, well, are you leaving the pizza box open the entire time, or are you not closing it?
Closing it doesn't prevent much.
prevents flies.
Okay.
You can
Well,
climb into the little
yeah.
hole on the side.
What? Dude, how much of a fly problem do you have?
It happens. What if there's a
Actually,
curious
Okay,
little ant?
well,
Actually, we've had some ants, but I've not seen a fly all season.
I've heard. I was in the VC with Pez the other day.
Oh my god.
She was being entertained by, and it also scared her.
Oh my god.
occasionally.
If he was on the wall and it was chill. He was fine being on the wall.
Yeah, she was just like, "Look, the ant's on my light," and then like moments later, she'd be like,
I was screaming because he decided to fucking
so
charge at me across the pillow.
It was a very
It was
entertaining
coming
night
for
when
blood.
that happened.
He was mad
But
because I was making fun of
but
him.
back to the Pop Tart. Back to the Pop.
You should go grab one.
So
Have you had Eggo Pop
I
Tarts?
had this Boston cream.
Have you had Eggo Poppers? The Eggo waffle kind?
They go Pop.
Yeah.
I don't. Do they have Pop Tarts from
Mhm.
Eggo? I don't think I
Yeah,
have.
Really?
we
They're
got
like,
them.
okay,
We
they're
just
not
get
bad.
them at the Wally Mart store.
Mhm.
I have another thing to talk about regarding
Oh.
Eggo, but there's this Boston cream Pop Tart that I made it. So You were saying that you should try a microwave Pop-Tart. Well, let me tell you a kind of Pop-Tart you shouldn't microwave.
Okay.
I had this nice Boston cream Pop-Tart. Like, tasted so good when I ate it last time. I was like, I kind of want it hot. Like, you get a Boston cream donut, like a hot filled donut. That's kind of
That
pretty
sounds
good.
pretty good. That
So I
sounds
said,
good.
yeah. So I said, let me microwave this Pop-Tart because I don't want to toast it. I just want to have it quickly in like I think it was like the afternoon. I just want this nice afternoon snack. Well, I plop it in the microwave on this plate. I think I set it for like maybe 30 seconds. I don't know if I did all 30 seconds, but I kind of had that like quick microwave thing.
Yeah.
I open the microwave door when it's done microwaving, and my God, did it smell awful.
Uh-oh.
Like it was like rotten egg kind of smell. Like I did not think a Pop Tart could smell like that. I don't know what in it
Oh no.
would produce the
Oh
smell.
no. That'd be the Boston cream.
Yeah, and I said, what have I done? And then I thought about it and I'm like, I still want a Boston cream
Can you
Pop Tart.
imagine? Can you imagine if you boiled a Pop-Tart?
But
Mm-mm.
oh my dude. It
Boiled a
just
Pop-Tart.
it just
It would just
crumbled.
become
Get
it would just
moist and
become like a
crumble.
gravy.
It wouldn't even
Like a
become.
Pop-Tart
It would
gravy.
assimilate
No,
into
it
the
wouldn't
water.
become a gravy. It would like dissolve into little particles of Pop
Bread
Tart. And it would
Yeah,
just
like
be
chunky.
floating in the water.
Chunky like a gravy.
Gravy isn't chunky.
No,
It's like a viscous liquid.
Viscous, yes.
you're
Chunky,
thinking of like
no.
sausage gravy, I feel like.
Yeah,
Why are you
sausage
thinking-
sausage gravy has chunk of sausage,
Well, okay, sausage
Yeah.
gravy, yes. Normal,
and also tends to
like-
be a little chunky.
like a chicken gravy or like a brown gravy. Are you telling me that's
Yeah,
chunky?
I'm thinking more of a like a chowder.
That's
Pop-Tart,
not a gravy. That's a soup.
Pop-Tart chowder.
That's a soup.
I gotta prepare my Pop-Tart base for my dessert soup.
Oh my god!
Dude,
It's like that episode of Friends.
Birch, I thought I've made some culinary disasters, but you're on a, like a whole different
He's-
mindset right now.
This is
Going
why I don't cook dinner. By the way,
Mm-hmm.
But I looked at this hot stinky Boston cream Pop Tart and I broke off piece. It was really hot, and so I broke off Pete like cool a little bit, and I took a bite. And honestly, I think I might have blocked it out of my memory because I can't remember if it was decent or really bad.
he was so upset by the smell.
Like,
Stinky
Like-
Boston cream.
I think I blocked it because it's one of those things where it smells so bad you don't want to consume it.
Yeah.
Like I was looking at it, and judging by the smell that came from microwaving this, I was like, I spoiled something in this, and I'm about to get food
What's
poisoning.
that like? Isn't there that smell that like makes you throw up or something?
Yeah. I forget what it's
I
called.
forget what
What?
that is. There's some like chemical that like when you smell it, you like
just like
I know there's like a medicine you can take that like triggers you to automatically throw up because they use it for like getting stuff you aren't supposed to eat. They use it to like get it out of your
control.
It's called
I
hypocac.
don't know.
It's something like that.
Yeah, sure. Let's go with hypocat.
I forgot.
Hang on.
Yeah.
No, not.
Yeah. So moral of the story, I guess, is just never microwave a Boston cream pie.
Yeah, yeah.
I learned.
I've never seen one, so I won't really have that problem.
I don't know if they have them anymore because Pop Tart has all those
Yeah,
like limited
Ipecac.
edition things. Ipecac.
IPECAC.
Sure. Yeah. Chemicals.
Apparently, it is not recommended anymore by Poison Control, though, so don't use it.
Don't
use
use
it,
it, guys.
Yeah, it is not recommended anymore.
Wait,
Not being cast certified.
poison control's not recommending what they used to use to get the poison
Yeah.
out of you.
Hang on,
Okay.
it says
Thing?
for years parents were told to keep Ipecac syrup at home. This medicine was used to make a child vomit after swallowing poison. Now your doctor doesn't tell you to keep it. Poison control doesn't tell you to use it. You can't even buy it in the drugstore.
Huh? I did not know you could like own that stuff. I thought like a doctor had to have
so
it.
it's okay. So then it says, the short story: call poison control right away, or use the poison control tool online if you think someone has been poisoned or the poison was swallowed. Whatever. Yeah. Anyways,
Dude, the thought of like using a website when you get poisoned just kind of seems funny to me. Like, just like, dude, I think I'm dying, dude. I think I'm poisoned. They're like, hold on, let me pull up the website.
I need to open the book.
Okay, here.
www.poisoncontrol. Wait, shoot, I misspelled it. I got an error 504.
The longer story. Okay, here's the longer story. It seems to make sense. If someone swallowed poison and then threw up, they shouldn't get sick. This treatment approach was used for decades. People who swallowed poison used to be given many ineffective remedies, such as raw egg whites, mustard, the universal antidote of burnt toast, tannic acid, and milk of magnesia.
What?
Salt water and tickling the back of the throat.
Ah, the classic.
If you've been poisoned, grab the feather, start tickling.
Start tickling.
Dude, you know how like you look back at these like medical doctors from like ages ago and you're like, dude, how could they have thought that you'd cure this by purifying the blood? Like this is like the exact same thing. Like they're like, oh shoot, dude, I swallowed cyanide. Let me tickle the back of my neck.
That's still basically like what medicine and like doctor, like what we do today.
Oh, it says, okay.
Just on a more sophisticated scale.
This says, sometimes these remedies did cause vomiting, but they often cause problems of their own. For example, too much salt caused sodium poisoning.
I was going to say secondary poisoning.
And even death.
Is someone just like licking a bar of salt?
Gagging someone often caused throat bleeding and swelling. Also, these home remedies were never reliable enough to be used to treat poisoning, and complicated charts about what remedy went with what poisoning were confusing.
That is crazy, dude. Sorry, Mom. I think I'm poisoned. Can you burn some toast real quick?
I need toast.
Can you really crank up that
tickle the back of my throat?
Oh, here we go. Okay. It says, what we know now. It turns out that a big piece of the picture was missing. Yes, Ipecac made people throw up, whether or not they swallowed poison. But did throwing up keep them from actually getting sick from the poison? After decades of Ipecac use for poisoning, researchers looked at all of the evidence about Ipecac syrup. They agreed that Ipecac syrup reliably caused vomiting. They also agreed that this didn't make any difference. In other words, there was little research to show that people who swallowed Ipecac after poisoning did any better than others. In addition, this review highlighted some problems with Ipecac. There are times when Ipecac is unsafe. It shouldn't be given to someone who swallowed chemicals that cause burns on contact or medicines that can cause seizures very quickly. It can be dangerous to people with some types of medical problems. When such poisoning victims got Ipecac anyway, they developed serious complications or even died. More and more people with eating disorders were using Ipecac to make themselves throw up. Regular use of Ipecac syrup is dangerous. For example, chronic users have died from heart problems. Sometimes people vomiting after Ipecac could not keep down other drugs they needed to treat their poisonings. Based on these facts, pediatricians, poison control experts, and federal regulators reevaluated the use of Ipecac.
That's crazy, dude. That's so funny to think like they were looking at this and they're like, wait, so these people they got poisoned. We were just like, here, throw up. Did that help? No, but you threw up.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah. I wonder if it's just because when you take that syrup, you're basically just throwing up the syrup. You're not throwing anything else up.
Yeah.
Right.
And this kind of goes with what people say. Like medical procedures and all information is just basically a reflection on what common sense provides in correlation to what technology we have. Like when you think of like poison, it's like he swallowed it. Yeah, so throwing it up must fix it because then he unswallowed it. And like there was this one example I heard of issues like or like really like medieval doctors and all that. There's like a case where they were like, oh, if you were like peeing blood or something, then they just drain the blood because the body must have too much of it, and that's why it's trying to
Oh my
drain it.
god.
Like if you think about it, it's like when you think of common sense in correlation to what the knowledge of the time was, sure, that seems like a really
Yeah.
reasonable thing. But then we learn more about like medical science, and you're like, wait,
That's
no,
that works.
that's not what it's
Right.
doing.
That's like it's like bloodletting. Like it's so funny to me that they're like, "Oh, you have a problem? Let's just leak some blood out of you. That should fix it."
Leak the problem
Yeah.
out, squeeze it like a sponge.
Yeah, that's why like leeches were such like a common thing because they were like, oh, the issue's in the blood. We gotta drain the bad blood, and then your body makes
Yeah.
good blood. 'Cause that was like there's like so many people died from bleeding out because doctors were like, make him bleed, that'll fix it.
Show me the blood.
Like like those flow charts where it's like if this, do
Yeah.
this. It's like that, and it's like if this, drain blood. If this,
If sick,
drain
drain
blood.
blood.
If
If
this,
sick, drain
see
blood.
if this
Repeat.
works. If yes, drain blood. Like there was this big arrow flow chart, and a lot of the arrows just point to drain blood.
Could you imagine the first person to have a tumor taken out? Like the first person to have like a brain tumor taken out.
It's like crazy.
Hey, we think this issue might be something with your brain. What if we remove this small piece of
There
it?
was some like book that was made into a movie. I think that was about that. I forget what it was called now.
There was.
We did it in school. I
We
can't
did.
remember anymore.
Well, great.
Okay, that makes sense. I was like, why are you just watching movies about like the first brain tumor
And I don't
removal?
think it was the first one.
Were
It
you
was
bored
like a
on some
long. It
plane?
was like an older movie about like a guy who's like goofy, and then he had a brain tumor taken out.
Good guy.
Hey, guy.
Who's this white boy with a brain tumor?
That's it. That was movie.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Dude, did you ever I don't know the name of this book, but I can describe it. There's this book we had to read in English. And it was like there's this person who's not like the brightest tool in the shed, and he kind of gets like I don't know what made it so, but he was kind of like almost into elementary school, but like as
Yeah.
an adult. So then there was this scientific like experimental thing they were testing. He like got accepted for it, and it basically like fed you knowledge when you were asleep, and basically raised your IQ, so you became like a lot
Is
smarter. And so by the end, he was like a
is that
super
what I was
genius.
thinking of?
But then he
Is it
started
called like
back.
Charlie or something? Okay,
Yeah,
that's what I was
yeah.
thinking of. Then, not the brain tumor.
Dude, I read the book. It's kind of like it was cool as a book, but then when you think about it, it's kind of like weird. Like, dude, I felt really bad when we watched the
Yeah.
movie because when I read the book, it didn't click me that like when his brain reverted back, he like died.
Yeah.
So then I'm like watching the movie, and he just kind of like is like, I won't see you again, but and I'll be not smart anymore, but I hope I did good. And I was like,
It kills me. That's like growing old or like senile, and like either losing your memory or losing control of your actions is like a fear of mine. I don't want that. It scares
dude,
me.
that's what I was like so sad to think. Like when you get old and you get
I
like
mean,
dementia
to
and
be
stuff.
fair, if you lose your memory, you're gonna forget that you're even sad.
Well, I know that, but
Yeah, that's good for you, but what about everyone else?
You're gonna take care of me if I become senile?
of course. You better take care of me.
I will. Wipe your ass for you.
I'll pee my pants.
Oh,
Help me.
forget. I'm gonna have to change these adult
Help me.
diapers.
I need to change my pants.
Oh my god.
Oh,
So can I ask you a question about
Yes.
Arcane? Do you think Arcane is an anime?
No.
This was a very big debate when Arcane
What do
first
you
came out.
think? Do you think it's an anime?
By definition, I don't think
Same.
it is because to be an anime, I believe it has to be made in
Yeah.
Japan.
That's usually the
Because
stipulation.
that's why Avatar wasn't made
Yeah,
in
same with
Japan.
Invincible.
Hmm. I don't know if anyone really would think Invincible might be an anime.
it's like what even
It's-
is much difference in comic books and anime, right? That's Japanese comics.
You
Yeah,
mean
like
manga?
that's Japanese comics as manga. They're pretty similar.
Yeah, it's like I learned like a lot of this stuff is like region based. Because like manhwa or
Yeah.
however you say it, like that specifically has to be like Korean, like made in
Right.
Korea. Um, and then there was like another word for like if it's made in China. And it's like I learned that things like this are very region specific, and that was kind of like weird to me. It's like you're just making things like really complicated, I feel like. You could just say, here's this like comic thing. It's made in China, like most things.
Yeah, exactly. It's like how some countries you call them by your native language's name of it, or some countries you just call it by their
Yeah,
what they call themselves.
yeah. And it's also kind of like you can just add the name of like the country before it. Like if I'm eating like a cookie in Japan, I'm not gonna use some like unique term that specifically relates to Japanese cookie. I'm probably just gonna call it a
Yeah.
Japanese cookie. Or what do the British call it? Biscuits? Crisps?
Biscuits, crisps, or
Chips.
chips.
That's
And
like
Crisps
chips
or
are French
chips?
fries.
that's kind of what we did with like Chinese food,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah, like isn't like Chinese food like isn't technically
Yeah,
No,
like
Chinese.
American Chinese
It's like
takeout
specifically
yeah,
American.
is
authentic Chinese food is very, very different.
Yeah. I kind of wonder like what inspired that. Was it just like at the time no one really would like the food that was
Yes.
from China? They kind of made something more.
We
Yeah.
watched a documentary kind of about this.
There's a documentary.
And
Okay. Of course there's a
yeah.
documentary.
And it's basically that like the things that they eat in China would be too weird and wouldn't sell, so they had to basically take the flavors but make it more edible to American people.
American
Yeah.
palate.
more
focus.
appealing.
Yeah.
Mhm. So yeah, I feel like that's kind of the thing that differs today. I feel like today a lot more people are like, I'll try this. This seems interesting. I don't know if that's just
Yeah,
me
well, maybe.
because like there will be so many times I'll like go to a new restaurant and I'll read something and I'm like, I have no idea what this is, but I'm gonna
Yeah.
get it. And so like people ask me, they're like, oh, do you think you're gonna like that? I'm like, I don't know, but I'll
We've
try it.
definitely been more open to trying new foods and stuff and new cooking
Yeah.
methods.
Yeah, like I went to this, like it was the first authentic Italian place I've ever been to because apparently Olive Garden is an
It is
authentic
not.
Italian. I did not know
What?
that.
No,
For the longest time, I thought
no
Olive Garden was
way.
That's
Italian. Um, yeah, and like Italian places aren't that common, at least where I
Yeah.
am. And so, like Olive Garden for the longest time was the only like quote unquote Italian
Yeah.
place I knew of.
Okay.
So I just thought that was Italian food. I was like, oh, they eat spaghetti and Alfredo. They eat fettuccine. Uh, But then I go to this authentic place and I got something and it was like red sauce and like Italian sausage and like some kind of noodle and it was so good. And but I was like reading it and I'm like, I don't know what I'm reading. I know pasta, I know sausage,
It's all
but
in
that's it.
Italian.
Yeah, that's like when we went to Santa Susa's.
Yeah, I remember that place.
We got their appetizers are so good. We got the bruschetta and then they have like calamari. I think you guys got the calamari.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
They also have the I forget what they're called. They're like the rice balls. And I think they have a sausage in them, but it's like rice balls and arancini, that's what they're called. They're like rice and cheese.
Oh my God, dude. My dad got screwed one time when he ate a rice ball thing. It was like a Thai food and it was in
Oh
Thailand, I'm pretty
no.
sure. Dude, he got
Oh
screwed over. Dude, I learned that Thai food in the US is not necessarily genuine, but in a different way to like Chinese
yeah.
food is. I learned that in like Thai food in America, they had to make it so much less
Yeah.
spicy because it was physically impossible for people to eat genuine
Yeah.
Thai food. So I heard the story and it was like my dad was like, "Yeah, I went to like Thailand once." And he was like, "I just looked at like this menu and I was like, "Oh, it's a rice ball." Sure, I'll try one. There's apparently more to it than just
That's so
rice.
bad.
So he ate it. He told me he had blisters in his
Oh
throat.
no.
And and he said he went to a doctor and the doctor told him, "Yeah, if you order the wrong thing, you could
Oh my
actually
god.
die."
Yeah. We're not built for that.
Yeah. And so for the longest time, I was like that story made me terrified of Thai
Milk
food.
drinkers are built different.
I was just like, I was like, holy shit! If I order Thai food, I am going to
But
die.
same with like
And so then I just go to
Indian cuisine and like
Yeah.
yeah. So many people tell me like Indian food is really hot, and I'm talking to people, and they're like, I mean, there's like hot Thai food, there's like curry and all that, but like there's other stuff. So I have yet to like try actual Indian food because I
yeah.
really want to. I kept talking to like Gris and them, and I keep asking them like, what's something I should
Mm-hmm.
get? 'Cause, like they're in India, so I'm like, let me ask people in India what to get
They
from
have
an
a lot
Indian
of different
place.
like potato stuff you can make.
Yeah, dude, I really want to try the curry, but just the sound, like when I read the description, it sounds so weird.
I bet
It's
it's
kind of
so
like,
good.
There's lots of spices on it.
dude, I'm just gonna say like screw it once and just
Yeah.
probably order it. Because they'll look at it and they're like coconut milk
We'll have to
broth. I'm like,
order from that place
what?
by us.
Yeah. There's an Indian place like half an hour from here, 25 minutes from here.
Something like that.
Hmm.
A little bit of a drive to another town over.
But man, I bet you it's so
Dude, how long have we been
I
recording? That was actually
no
something I
idea.
Just over
think
an
of.
hour, I think.
Okay. We started at like what, like 11:30?
I don't think it was that late. I think it was closer to 11. You added him here.
It was like past like
You added him
11:30.
here at 11.
Oh, true. We can just look at when we put started like
Yeah.
slash join. 11:07. So we've been going for a little over an hour.
Should we wrap up here? Should we do our hour bite?
Okay. What's one last topic that we can not
Something
get on
very
tangents for?
controversial for our last topic.
Oh my god. A controversy?
What's the controversy, dude?
No,
NFT.
no. Ty, what's your take on bumper stickers?
What?
Yeah.
Bumper stickers? I've seen a lot of like controversial ones, but anything can be controversial when you can
Yeah.
make it.
Do you?
Personally, I'm not a big fan
Yeah.
of using them because when I got my car, my mom had like a lot of bumper stickers on it. It did not click in my head that these are like adhesive pieces of plastic that are just constantly baking
Yeah.
in the sun. So I walk up to these things. They're part of the
Yes.
car. That is why I personally don't like bumper stickers because if I ever have to like switch cars with someone or like get a new car or something, those
Yeah.
aren't coming off
You can use
without
glue
like
gun.
a razor or something.
Goo gun.
What?
Goo
Glue guns?
gun.
Comes in like a
Ooh.
yellow bottle.
Glue gone
Goo
or
gone.
gun?
Like out of here. See ya.
Yeah, like goodbye.
That's what I read when I Googled it. They were like, oh, there's this stuff you can put on it and it like gets rid of the
Out of
adhesive.
here.
But then I have to get Yeah, personally, I think the better alternative to bumper stickers is just get like car magnets.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Fair enough.
Like, that's what I'm gonna do for mine is I just have to go and get some like bumper or like car magnets because you can take those things
Right.
on and off. Like what if I had like a thing like I heart Sword Art Online and then at Sword Art Online all of a sudden makes like a racial Twitter post and all of a sudden I have a really controversial
I need
sticker on my
I need
car.
to get that off.
Yeah, it's like, uh-oh, now I'm gonna get
And
rocks
that's
thrown
why
at
you
me.
should use our sponsor.
Ooze off.
Ooze off.
Yeah, ooze out of here.
Ooze off. Anti-controversy spray.
I don't know. I feel like if
Spray it on that sticker, all of a sudden it says, I hate Sword Art Online.
I don't think
Which, even if it wasn't controversial, is a valid statement. Sword Art Online is
I
not
don't
that good
think
anymore.
many
I will stand
bumper
by that.
stickers in mass clumped together look good ever. I don't think it looks.
See, that's where I feel like even like car stickers, I've seen so many cars with like this car stickers on the back. I'm like, how do you see
Dude,
like out the
Oh,
I
back
love
of
the
the car?
fucking giant eagle ones, like with the American flag.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Dude, it's always so funny to like see a truck and then like look at the car stickers on the back like windshield and it's like I love the amendment talking
Yeah, and
about
then there's another
guns.
sticker that says "fuck
Like and then it's the
bitches."
American flag with the blue stripe.
Your wife will be blowing me later.
Yeah, getting laid and getting paid.
Dude, there's like one truck I saw and it was like some company, I don't remember what. Uh oh, it was they did like cable
Mm.
stripping, I think. Um, and it was like a thing on their back and said, "We have strippers, but we don't need a pole."
Got him.
I just read it for the first time, did not understand a clue, then read it again the next time I saw that car, and I was like, "Oh, it's like when you strip cables from a house."
Catch line, if you know what I mean.
Oh my god, dude. That makes me think of when I watched like what
Willem
happened.
All right.
Dafoe.
That's it for this episode of Beancast.
Being cast. We talk about pretty tangential topics.
Yeah.
We discuss
Yeah.
whatever. We're like a flow chart that has more currents than the
yeah.
ocean. What did we talk about today? We did Arcane for a long time. We did series spacing for a
Talked
long
about spring
time.
Spring
anime.
And then
anime.
it just kind of
Talked
off.
about Pop Tarts.
Did we even talk about
Yeah.
spring anime?
Yeah, a little bit. We talked about Pop Tarts. We just talked about bumper stickers.
Oh yeah, the Pop Tart story. Yeah.
About Indian
I think
food
that went
talked about
well.
Indian
and
food,
Thai food,
Thai food,
Chinese food, Italian food.
A
A lot of food.
lot of food.
love food.
A lot of food.
Right.
Okay. Bye.